What's up, Juventini? Welcome back to the AJC, your channel dedicated to Juventus Derby d'Italia Day. We always love the Derby d'Italia. Whether you get fired up and the Acita kicks in first thing when you wake up at 5 a.m. or if you're calm, cool, and collected throughout the entire process, it's always one hell of a game to watch, and I expect no different today. We're just coming out of the international break. Thank God that's over. All right. Holy smokes. We'll maybe get into that a little bit too, but we've got a ton of news to tackle around Juventus as we get into the buildup of this game and what's supposed to be an exciting one. First big test for Juventus this season. Will they pass? I got Trim. I got Omer. I'm fired up for this one. Omer, how you doing, brother? And we might have to do something. I just noticed your chair is black and blue, brother. What's going on here? What are you trying to do to me?
You got me. I'm a double agent. I'm out here on a mission from an Interpod, and then later I give them all the insights on Juve and the AJC. Yeah, I got it as a gift from work. I had no saying in the color, and my wife really needed a chair to work. So, what can I say? I'm sorry if that offends anyone.
No, we'll just have to figure out how to get it black and white. All right. A little bit of paint. A little bit of paint fixes all. Great to have you on, brother. Great to see you. And Derby d'Italia, guns out. I don't expect any different. And Trim, how you doing, brother?
Doing well. Looking forward to this match. It's these ones are always got to be all business-like approach to this match today. So let's get to work. Let's go.
All business, baby, just like us. All business. All right. Let's say what's up to everybody in the army real quick. Forza Juve, ciao, everyone. Really hope that the rumored lineups are incorrect. Yeah, we'll get into that. Don't you worry. Cugino Eddie. By the way, the wager. We're on wager watch between Trimboli and Cugino Eddie. So we'll talk about that as well. Buongiorno to Mark. Ciao to Gio. We got Swarid in here. We got Cristi Milli, Adam, Bino, Yorio, great to see you all in here. All right, drop a like as you come in. If you're new to the channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. By the way, everybody, we have a kit giveaway today. All right, so today we find out the legend member status that will be taking home the 04 Juventus kit that we have, the pink one with Del Piero. And tomorrow we find out who wins the home Kenan Yildiz kit. So no matter what happens in the game, we're going to have good positive vibes here. All right. And yeah, it's just been a wild international break and a lot going on. The Azzurri, first two games with Gattuso. Let's just briefly give some thoughts on that real quick. We'll start with Omer here. The first two games with the Azzurri.
They were a lot of fun. They didn't give me a lot of hope. Can tell you that defense needs to be sorted out very quickly. Like, we have three more international breaks, right? October, November, and March. Assuming Gattuso is still the coach when the World Cup arrives, he will need to figure out that defense. I don't know how, but what can I say? It was very chaotic, a lot of fun, and and nothing more, to be honest.
Yeah. Trim, your quick thoughts on the first two Azzurri games for Gattuso.
Well, the best part is they couldn't be two polarizingly opposite games. Like, you got the first one where they blow the doors off them 5-0, and you're like, okay, I see some of the fan base or some of the, the national team supporters getting all excited, and saw some of you guys saying, calma, let's just wait and see what happens in the second one. And then in the second one there, just, I did, full disclosure, I didn't get to watch the games. I just was running around, and obviously I wasn't here. So I was actually there, and somehow I still managed to miss most of the games, but caught the highlights. And yeah, I don't know. It was just, the second match was kind of to be expected in terms of the way they played. Like, I know you mentioned it kind of sums up Gattuso as a coach just in general, and his questionable decisions with the lineup. I would have just gone back to the original lineup from the first match. Just seemed to work, and sitting Calafiori, putting Mancini in, like, just a lot of weird things. So
are we qualifying, boys? Are we qualifying?
I
Not from first place. I mean, it means nothing when Norway beats whoever
Oh,
it was
11-1 or whatever
11-1.
it was, like
pumped
insane.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're playing for a
yeah.
playoff
So
because they ain't going to slip up to the degree of, even if we beat them in the next game, it's just like their goal differential is
it
just
doesn't
insane.
matter.
So it's going to be up to a playoff. Are we going to qualify?
Uh, what can I say? Depending on the draw, like if we play the same way against like a Spain or Portugal or whatever, then it doesn't really matter.
I'll
Even
tell you
weaker
right now.
teams.
I am. I have all the same concerns I have with Gattuso that I did before he even got appointed. And I think the second game just shows you exactly why. The rah stuff goes only so far. And then it actually comes down to your decisions. It's hilarious because I didn't think it was going to be to that degree. But I also never thought that two words would be shared together, and that's win and embarrassing. But that was an embarrassing win. It literally was an embarrassing win to concede four, to actually have three own goals, one of them disallowed, is an embarrassing performance. Shambolic at the back from all accounts. Um, he's got to. You're absolutely right, Omer. Figure out the back line 100%. But Gattuso showed just how like it's scattered to make those questionable decisions for the second game. 4-4-2 using either Barella or Tonali as an outside midfielder. Mancini shouldn't even be seated on the bench for an Azzurri squad, let alone starting as one of the center backs. Bastoni is not a true center back, never has been. I've never bought into these talks of best center back in the world. No, strong at left center back and a back three, and that's about where it ends. This whole ball playing nonsense crap. Guys, for center backs, tackling, zonal marking, man marking always trumps playing the fucking ball. Period. Gattuso's got work to do. In the attack, he figured that out at least. But that's probably where it ends. Yeah, Azzurri got work to do. They got work to do. Thank God that international break ended. They got the results they need for now. Let's see where we go. Now, and by the way, if I'm going to say one thing, hopefully DiMarco, Bastoni, etc. play the way they did for the Azzurri today. All right, so Kivu, if you could play a back four with Bastoni as your main center back, ideal for us. Okay, you should go for it. What am I talking about? Bastoni is the best center back in the world. Okay, play your back four, Kivu. Put him right there, and everything will be just fine. Now, coming out of the international break, we did have some news around Juventus. The Hall of Fame opens up. 50 first names inducted. I'm going to rattle off those 50 first names and we'll get to your thoughts. I thought the actual ceremony portion was pretty cool, but you've got Anastasi, Baggio, Barzagli, Bettega, Bigatto, Boniperti, Bonucci, Borel, Briu, Buffon, Cabrini, Cannavaro, Castano, Cosio, Charles, Chiellini, Combi, Conte, Cucciureddo, Del Piero, De Petrini, Ferrara, Furino, Gabetto, Gama, Gentile, Hansen, Leoncini, Marchisio, Morini, Munorati, Nedved, Parola, Pesotto, Platini, Rava, Rosetta, Rossi, Salvadore, Scirea, Sivori, Tacchinardi, Tacconi, Tardelli, Trezeguet, both Varliens, Vialli, Zidane, Zoff. So that's your first 50. Now, the criteria to get in there: win a Ballon d'Or with Juve, score 100 goals with Juve, have minimum 350 appearances for Juve, win 15 or more trophies with Juve, okay, or be a captain and wear the armband for 70 appearances. So, your thoughts on the unveiling of the Hall of Fame and the 50 first names? I personally thought the unveiling was awesome. I think it looks spectacular in there. Trim, what'd you think of that unveiling?
Yeah, no, it's a really cool idea. I'm kind of surprised that, not that it took longer than expected, but I'm just surprised that they didn't have this already in place. So it's a kind of a nice touch by them to to add to everything else they've got going on there. Obviously, I've never been, but I'm looking forward to going there one day and seeing everything with the museum and all that kind of stuff. In terms of the names, I mean, there's always, when these lists come out, you can always nitpick one or two names here that's been omitted or that are in and should be replaced with somebody else. But I think they got the names right for the most part. Obviously, some of the older players I don't remember and don't know very well, but the ones that I do know, I think they're all pretty much bang on. And I did see that, there's a couple of guys in particular that will be eligible once they retire, in Dybala and Ronaldo. And it kind of makes sense that those guys will get in there with a guy like Camoranesi, who's not in, which is a big omission on our part. I know probably for the three of us, I can speak for us that we probably all feel the same way about him in particular. So I think that they'll all get in together when they do add. Let's say they'll do like 10 names every 5 years, or I don't know how they're going to do it, but once they start putting more guys in there, those three will get in for sure. And I know it was a really nice.
It depends, because there's a couple of guys that don't fit the criteria. I made a video about Camoranesi because I think fuck the criteria, that guy should be in there. But Omar, what did you think? The ceremony, what do you think about the names?
Well, the place itself looks great. I mean, that's one of the strong areas of just visiting the stadium. That museum is just phenomenal. I like, if you're a Juve fan, it's just like a kid in Disneyland. It's just, what an experience. So fun to see. So whatever they add to it, they do it very tastefully. And I don't know, for any Juve fan, it's just, no matter what they do, it comes out good. I don't like the stat-based, way of choosing who's in and who's not. There should be some other merits, like Camoranesi is a big, it sticks out. Like, I think the guys who went to Serie B should all be there, regardless of how many goals they scored or how many trophies they won, because they gave 5 seasons of their career to just playing below par football in Serie B, however long that took. So yeah, but besides that, I mean, the list seems solid. Didn't hear any other omissions that popped to mind. So yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it's Camoranesi just stands out. The other one would be who won't fit the criteria, but should he be in there? Pirlo. Should Pirlo be in there for you?
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
so. I think so. Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
he was a key cog to spark that decade of dominance, winning Player of the Year 3 years running, I think. After coming over on the free, he was huge, absolutely huge. I mean, he is obviously largely associated with Milan, but I mean, what he was to us too was just huge. So for me, that's a guy like Camoranesi and Pirlo won't hit the criteria, but I think they should be in there. So maybe some tweaks to do for Juve, but if they stick to just that other criteria, the other thing is Ronaldo, everybody's, he's got to be in there, scored 100 goals, the fastest to do so at Juventus. And some fans actually don't want him in there just because that's the only criteria he hits, and they don't think he should be in a Juventus Hall of Fame. Do you guys believe he should be in there if he's got 100 goals, the fastest to ever reach at Juve? Should that be a factor to qualify him in there?
Yeah, I believe it is.
It's a record.
It was a pretty. Yeah, I mean, looking back at that time and watching videos of the goals, like, it was memorable. It wasn't like something that just came to pass and will be forgotten. There were some great moments, some great wins there, some horrible ones as well, but it was an interesting time. Maybe the last time that you were able to bring in like a player of that caliber in a long, long time, and he did what he had to do.
It's tough. It's that 100 goal thing for me. Like, this is where it gets kind of iffy, because I mean, should Vlahovic, when he retires, go in our Hall of Fame? He has over 100 goals.
Like, that's why I don't like the stats thing.
That's why I'm not really a big thing on this whole Ronaldo thing. Is like, I don't know. Like, yeah, he was the fastest to do it. That's cool. He holds a record for Juve. Should that put him in our Hall of Fame? I'm not so sure.
Okay, so here's a tricky one, because I saw a shout out for Tevez here in the comments. So if you rule out Ronaldo, you kind of have to rule out Tevez. Ronaldo was here for longer, maybe more
I'm
trophies. I
actually
haven't made
okay
the
if
count.
Tevez doesn't go in the Hall of Fame for Juve.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think it should be stat based, and give it a little thought and something beyond.
Because yeah, I just think there's got to be a little bit more. Like, this is your Hall of Fame. Like, we always talked about that building. It's funny, me and Skang have had that discussion a million times. Like, guys that are in the building, but they're not at like a certain status. So yeah, I don't know if the 100-goal thing I really like, because oh my God, you open the door to a ton of guys. I mean,
Yeah.
Vlahovic is at what, 160 something. So it's like, I would never put him in our Hall of Fame when he retires. I don't know if that qualifies Ronaldo. It's an interesting discussion anyways, and we'll see how they end up choosing and if they make tweaks in the future. Apparently fans will have a say. It's going to be interesting. It's like there could be some voting things where that's kind of thrown out there, where there could be some votes going out there. So we'll see how it plays out. But Camoranesi, I think he kind of got done dirty there by Juve. Should definitely be in there. Now we get to the third kit release, everybody. And that's the next giveaway that we got coming up after tomorrow's home kit is the third there. And this thing is just stunner. You see the other ones, eh? We had a Inter, speaking of Derby d'Italia, release theirs on the same day. And practically nobody noticed, and rightfully so. I mean, holy smokes, it's not even close. They're not even in the same stratosphere if you're talking third kits here. And the Intermerda fans will try and say that that's an awesome kit. It sucks. That kit sucks.
Yeah, not a big fan. Not a big fan at all.
No, but ours, that's a stunner. Stunning third kit. I got to ask the question, fellas. Is it better than last year's third kit? For you
No.
personally?
I don't think so.
I don't think it trumps last year's third kit for me, but it's right there with it. I do prefer last year's better.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Absolutely.
Yeah. As far as people trying to compare, and even the accounts that posted these two together, asking the question, which is better, you have to ask. It's the same whenever you want to compare anything between the two sides. One is class and one is simply ass. And it's the same story all the time. De to Intermerda. All right. Now, we get to this. And I don't know what's my camera frozen? Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to boot myself out, boys. But guys, third kit, did you order it? Who are you getting on the back? Go.
I have yet to order it. Yeah, I have yet to order it. I will. I don't know if I'll get anyone on the back, to be honest. I didn't get anyone last year with last year's third kit, and I'm actually happy I didn't. So, yeah, I think I'll go clean, and I'll buy myself the home kit with some name, probably. The name I'll choose, it's a tough one. I want to go Bremer. I really want to go Bremer, but I'm afraid he'll leave.
That's kind of where I'm at too. We kind of had this discussion a little bit yesterday, and I was talking about that with some of the guys, and I mentioned how he's one player that I've always wanted to get on a kit, and I regret not getting it early on when we first acquired him. I just kind of wanted to see how things were going, and now I'm almost at that point where I'm afraid to get it exactly for that reason, that, you know, going back to, I know Berto's mentioned the release clause and all that kind of stuff, so I'm a little worried about that, but I've ordered mine. I won't get it until late November, early December. It's a long story, but basically I'm getting it shipped from there with some stuff from family, but pretty obvious as to who I got on the back. I'm sure everybody can guess who I got, but I actually, not that I'm regretting it, but I do love the kits, especially last year's. I regret not getting it just blank, because I think that it's a really cool look and kind of almost like a lifestyle kind of shirt or kit. I just like it plain. So I think I'm going to have to get one blank, but I did end up ordering one with the name, and I just got Champions League. So that's just got Jeep on the front. And of course I had to go with the Iceman. There's no doubt about that one. The number aside, I'm not a big fan of the number 30, but it's his rookie season with us, so I had to get it Had to get David on the
Dude,
back of that one.
I gotta say, I wore the third kit to like family events
Yep,
and
Oh yeah.
holidays and whatever, and I
it's
got
sweet.
tons of compliments. Like no one told me, maybe they're being too nice, but no one told me why you're bringing a football shirt to a celebratory dinner. It was just great. Everyone who saw it really liked it. So I
Yeah.
think I'll get the third one clean as well, so I can wear it to
I
family
see.
events.
Yeah, it
Last
is
year's I
pretty
had to
cool.
get clean because it's just spectacular. Like you can wear that
Yeah,
thing anywhere you want. This one, I'm gonna throw. It only had two options for me on this particular kit. Looking at it, it screams Taram or Yildiz to me. So I actually ended up going Yildiz on that one. Um, yeah, and I think the away kit I'll end up putting Taram on the back of the away. But beautiful kit. Beautiful kit. Adidas ain't so bad. Adidas ain't so bad. Look what Nike did for old Inter there, but you can't make those guys look good, anyways.
That
That's just
would
the
be
way it
better.
goes. Now, before my camera so rudely interrupted, I did deliver Inter one of those on their third kit. Okay, trying to steal thunder and just got absolutely lit up. Hopefully, they get absolutely lit up today. Speaking of Bremer, putting Bremer on the back of a kit, Liverpool, we're starting to hear that they're interested. They could be coming up next season. The interesting part about this whole discussion was I brought up the release clause, and this created like this ripple effect where everybody was losing it. People were calling me out on social media, just like, there is no release clause. The release clause is gone. They got rid of it. And I'm like, no, they didn't. Nobody's ever said that the release clause is gone. The last that we had ever heard about his release clause is that it was gone for the 2024 summer when he signed that extension. The last we had heard was that it went from a 60 million release clause, wiped out for the 2024 season, kicks in for the 2025 season, the summer we just passed, and that it was just increased. The speculation is that it's around 70 million euros. Still very, very low in my opinion. If you were going to put a release clause on this guy, should have always been triple what we paid for him, which was around 40. Start there. That's the whole point of release clauses. Like to be something massive and then you work from there to for any team that's interested. That's the latest. That's all we had ever heard. And you could go back and check Fabrizio Romano's posts and everything. He had it out there that it kicks in 2025. The clause was wiped out for 2024 summer, but it wasn't wiped out completely. So we have to wait. But my God, if you slap a 60, even a 70 million clause on this guy, that's absolutely silly. Absolutely silly. What's the point of even putting a clause in there then? Jack it up and set the tone for the discussions. We paid more than 70, well over 70 for De Ligt. Bremer's the best CB in Serie A, hands down right now. Nobody will tell me otherwise. And if you're telling me he's only worth 70 million to Juventus, you're full of shit. Because in 93 appearances or whatever, the dude's already at 47 clean sheets or something like that with him in there. It's night and day with this guy. So I seriously hope that release clause is not actually in fact the number around there, because it would be a shame. It would be a shame if by some chance a team convinces him to make the move and it's 70 million. Even though that's good money, even though it'd be good capital, that's not good enough for what he means to Juve, in my opinion. That's just me. Do you guys agree, disagree with my thoughts? We'll start with Omer and then get to Trim.
Yeah, I have two issues with that. The first one is release clauses in general. Usually there are two types. There are the absurd ones, like Lamine Yamal is like a billion or whatever, which means you don't even consider it. And the other one is like manageable. There are teams who will play for it, like, who will pay it. Like Liverpool will have no problem paying 100 million for Bremer, even if that's the release clause, which leaves us without Bremer. Now, my other issue is that 60, 70 million is just not enough, because what does it get you? Morten Hoyland? Koopmeiners? I mean, those are the names that are going around for 60 million. Like, if you are going to do this, and you are planning on selling him, have the deals to replace him, the plans to replace him, not with one player, with however many you need already in place, like you did with Bremer and De Ligt when he was leaving. You knew you were getting Bremer with the De Ligt money the second he left, and they accelerated that process. If yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. For 60, 70, nah. Start with
Yeah, I
120.
mean,
There are
and
some
again, we
ludicrous
have to
teams that
wait to
will
see,
pay it.
but if that release clause is in fact in there, you've got to work on that like this
Mm-hmm.
season if you're Juventus. Like, there's no way this guy should be sitting there with a 70 million release clause.
I mean,
Again,
what's
to
the
the
70
point,
million? That's Nottingham Forest can pay it.
you can make a release
Yeah.
clause that's manageable, that teams will hit, and then like you said, you make one that's not hittable so that they know if they're coming for this guy, you have no intentions of selling, they're going to have to go crazy. It really doesn't matter once you pass a certain mark. You can make it 2 billion, you can make it 5 billion. It doesn't really matter. It's just the point of you have no intentions of moving this guy. So if a team came in, they'd have to come in hot. That's all you're essentially saying. But to make a manageable one and make it so low like that is crazy. Like, they got work to do. Trim, what do you think?
Yeah, with a guy like Bremer specifically, like in your top players, like I've always had issues in general with release clauses. Now I understand why they're put in place. It's because of the player and the player's agents, trying to give them some kind of security in the sense of if they want to move, because otherwise the teams have full control. So I get why they're in place, but for a guy like Bremer, I would have preferred if they didn't have one at all, and then they just said, look, we'll listen to offers, but it has to be at the right price, appropriate price, right? But in terms of the amount, yeah, obviously right across the board, I think we can all agree 60 is way too low. If they can bump it up to minimum 100, 120, then, it's looking a lot better. But I think it just goes to show you that, you know, we talk about this all the time about getting attached to players and, how we've seen throughout our lifetime, three of us, big names come and go through this club, but the club remains, right? So it's one of those things where I don't think we can afford to lose them as early as next season. I'd like to keep him around for at least another year, 2 years, maybe even 3, depending on what happens, because he's still so young. But there's going to come a point in time where he's going to end up leaving, and it's just about recuperating as much assets or the amount of money necessary to fill out the roster, right? So I know I've seen in the chat, Gio mentioned about, if it is Liverpool as an example, possible, cash and Leone option. Like, obviously that'd be pretty sweet. I think we'd all love that idea, but there's got to be more that comes with it, especially with a player like Bremer. I mean, if you can get 3 solid options, solid players in return, like a defender, a midfielder, and even forward up front, or even two defenders and a midfielder, then But let's worry about that down the road. I don't want to start thinking about that now.
If you're losing top guys, you have to replace them with the same. Like, if you're losing a guy that important, like I always said to everybody, you could sell whoever the hell you want. It's what's on the back side of it. So if you lose right now to this Juventus, Kenan Yildiz, you lose Clayson Bremer, it has to mean like 3 solid signings. Like, that's how you do business. That's how you should operate. Like, if you're losing those guys, if you're losing 1 for 1, you've lost. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you lose Bremer. One next signing has to be, again, a guy that's in that realm at center back coming into Juventus. Are you going to do it for that money? Probably not. So you'd have to,
like, let's say
around.
Let's say hypothetically, you've sell Bremer in order to fund Calafiori and throw Leone in that deal with Bremer and fund Calafiori. Will you be happy with that?
Not really.
I would want a bit more. Like, I want someone bigger. I want like a Saliba out of Arsenal, like a guy like that, like similar to what Berto said. Like, you want almost a direct replacement for Bremer. I'd be more happy with that one guy.
And especially if I'm staring down the barrel of Leone barely getting minutes this year, like, we don't really know. I don't know. I don't know. But the thing is that maybe the will for Bremer will be to remain. Remember, though, he did always speak about wanting to play in England one day and everything, and these guys are going to come knocking. It's just a matter of time. So if, again, I'm not saying 100%, I'm saying the last time we heard he had a release clause in there, If that is in fact true, Juve, you got to work on that and you got to clean it up like soon. I see Footfax YT is heading to the stadium. All right. That's
Nice.
great. Enjoy yourself, man. Always gonna be a wild one to take in the Derby d'Italia. I'm sure there's gonna be some drama. We'll talk about the official. We'll talk about the lineups. We're gonna get into it. Real quick, extensions. Kefren Turam and Kenan Yildiz both set for extensions at Juve. Both set to get substantial increases in pay. Some fans have said, stop giving Yildiz so much so soon. Others have absolutely no issues with it whatsoever. Your thoughts on these two getting extensions right now? We'll start with Trim, then get to Omer.
Well, off the hop, I think it's deserved. I mean, their play overall has been fairly consistent. They're, kind of part of the nucleus and core of our group and our club. So I have zero issues with it. In terms of giving specifically like a guy like Yildiz the money too quickly per se, like I think I'm at that point where typically I would agree with this depending on the type of player, but I think Yildiz is an exception. Like, I mean, this guy, you can see his star power and his quality shine through, and it's just going to continue to grow and grow as he continues to play more and progress. So I have zero issues with them giving him the money, because if not, he can easily turn around and we'll lose him just like that. And I think a lot of fans and we'll regret that if we do end up losing him. So if it means keeping him around a little bit longer, then I have no issues with that.
Yeah. And Omer.
Yeah. Yesterday. Just as quick as possible. Just do it. Those guys are the backbone of this team. Along with Bremer, it makes sense. Not long ago, we were extending players over 30 years old and giving them huge salaries and then couldn't offload them. Let's be real, if like a Liverpool or Paris Saint-Germain or whoever wants to buy them, the salary won't be the issue. We can't give them a salary that those clubs couldn't pay. So it's not about the salary for those guys. So just give them whatever they want. I mean, whatever is logical. I mean, don't go overboard. And in terms of giving too much, I don't know. I don't understand the market today. Maybe that's the way you need to play it in order to keep your star players. You just gotta have to reconsider their contract every year if you want to get at least your money's worth, which you haven't done so. So yeah, I think that's the way the game is played right now, and just do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to there's interest around both. Teams keep coming around. It's time to protect the guys that you want to keep around. Going into this route too, Kamoli kind of spoke to it a bit in the unveiling at Shigrova and Openda in that presser, just claiming that, you know what, we made a decision this summer that we didn't want to sell our best players for financial gains, etc., whatnot. Maybe a cleverly placed line there by Kamoli, feeling the vibes around the team, past couple summers, etc., and the places we were coming from. But, if offers were actually on the table for maybe Cambiasso, like come summer, would they make a move and try and shift things? Nobody really knows, but maybe it is in fact all completely genuine and they had absolutely zero intentions, and they have themselves a group, a core that they want to move forward. Last year was such an absolute mess, from a coach taking your pillars and just treating them like crap all over the place and weird benchings all over the place. And it's like, these guys are supposed to be your untouchables. So,
and remember when he told Yildiz, who do you think you are? You're not Messi.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then Tudor goes on this week and says something very interesting to me about Yildiz. Said, I noticed I never tell him anything bad because he doesn't do anything bad.
He's always doing the right things.
Yeah, exactly what we asked for him and more.
Yildiz might still have his long hair if Tudor was around before. Might have never had to cut it because of Mad Max. Look, I have absolutely zero problems giving these guys a boost and doing it because it's the right guys. It's the right guys to do so. And they're showing it. They're showing it on the pitch. That's what matters the most. So no issues. No issues on that front with those guys. Those should be locked up pretty soon. Now, Tudor, speaking of, is he going safe today? Is he going safe today? So here's something that was said. Because, you know, it's the Derby d'Italia. And there's always going to be words spoken. We talked about Hall of Fame, and you know, one guy's name got brought up there, Mr. Juan Cuadrado. Yeah, you need to just shut up, Juan. Is it a coincidence every team he's left since he left Juve wears black and blue? Huh. Maybe the true colors end up coming out. But anyways, Cuadrado,
To be
nobody cares what he
honest,
says. How about this
sent me
mutt?
this player.
How about this mutt? Felipe Melo. Okay?
No.
To Gazzetta dello Sport. I'll just translate for everybody. I watched Juve play in the Club World Cup. Against City, it was embarrassing. Tudor doesn't drive me crazy. He started well, but against clubs like Inter where he has to make a difference, I don't see it. The favorite for the Scudetto is Inter. They're the strongest, and Inter is close to my heart. First of all, Melo's a fucking absolute tool, okay? But yeah. I will say this. There's that one feeling in there of Tudor against the clubs, going back to the Club World Cup, City, Madrid, and the approaches there. We were very, very poor. Does his projected lineup maybe show that we're going to show too much respect to our opponents? We're going to pull up the graphics. We're going to take a look here. We've got the clown show that is Inter Merda. So this is what's expected. There are rumors that Akanji actually gets his first start with Inter. But so that's really the only alternative that I've heard. And it would be Basak out and Akanji in. Other than that, this is pretty much exactly what you're going to get. Too bad we couldn't see a four-man backline with Bastoni in there and DiMarco as an outright left back. But nonetheless, no surprises. Wouldn't expect anything different from Merda. And that's it. For Juve, you guys, a lot of you would have seen the short, but this is what Albanese threw out there. And so Di Gregorio, all straightforward at the back. Gatti, Bremer, Kelly. Kalulu continuing at the right wing back position where we heard Tudor say that he is doing well. And that it's about balance first and foremost. Not conceding and being able to still hurt opposition up top. Locatelli, Thuram, that's a no-brainer for me. That's a lock. McKennie. I actually agree with that. He's got four options. Kostic, McKennie, Cabal, or João Mario. I don't think João Mario looked comfortable there. Personally, on the left, Cabal just came back. Kostic should not start this game in 2025. No. Colt Miners, an advanced role. Yildiz, Vlahovic. Guys, what's your thoughts looking at this lineup if this is what we get? Immediately, let's start Trim. What's your immediate thoughts? Gut reaction?
Immediate thoughts are if we are playing this lineup to start, we are 100% playing it safe and it's going to burn us, I think. If we keep this formation, there's some easy changes off the hop that I'd like to see. I'd take Kalulu out on the right side. I'd put Joao Mario there. Coop Miners, I'd have him on the bench as a replacement for either Loca or Thuram. And I'd actually put David and Yildiz behind Openda. I want to give Openda the start. I think this guy can just torch Bastoni, Acerbi, and if it's a Kanji or Bisek, I think this guy can torch these guys. And with Yildiz and David as the combination behind him, I think that they can really exploit the defense and, you know, send some long balls behind the defenders and have Openda just run straight at them. And just, I really feel like we need to burn these guys and torch them in the beginning of the match. I think we can get like a goal or even two right off the hop quickly in the first half. And if we do that, I think we can really take this one home. And so those are the changes that I'd make. I'm not so I'm not so concerned or worried about McKennie on that left side, especially because he's going to be going up against, I guess it would be DiMarco on that side, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, sorry, that's the Dumfries side. So yeah, like we want to definitely exploit the left side with DiMarco and Bastoni. I think we can handle them pretty easily. So for me, that's what I would do if we play this formation, or I just go straight 4-4-2, drop Kalulu back, put David and Vlahovic up top, and then put Joao Mario on the right side instead of Coop Miners, and play a 4-4-2 with Yildiz on the left. But yeah, I know he's not going to do that. So with this formation, that's what I do.
Omer, what do you think on this lineup?
Some of it I agree with, some of it I don't. Yeah, the McKennie one is the same thing I would do. Dumfries was their best player last season, very dangerous in the air. You need someone, to match his stamina because he keeps running all match long, and challenge him aerially. So yeah, none fit the bill except for McKennie right now. But Coop Miners in the advanced position is not something I would do. I think he had a great time doing it back there. Yeah, I would give Yildiz the free roam role and throw in like two strikers. You want to go with Openda or David? I don't really mind it. Vlahovic is on a good run. I don't mind playing him. He's been scoring like every match since the summer break. So yeah, I would put Kalulu instead of Gatti. I would take Gatti out and put Joao Mario on the side.
Yeah, if I'm looking at this, it lacks sting for me. It's very, very safe. We've seen the Cope Miners experiment a million times. Even if you're going to play this thing like a standard 3 midfielder, which we talked about, you get overrun in the middle against like Madrid, against City in that Club World Cup, get absolutely overrun with the 2-man pivot. But I still don't like going that route. I think it still lacks sting. I would do the exact same thing. I'd move Kalulu back to right center back. That's been when we've seen his best, is at right center back. I'd do that. Joao Mario, you got this guy in, you brought him in, play the guy and play him on his proper side. Let him go. Openda for me should play in this game, and I would not start Vlahovic in this. The reason I wouldn't start Vlahovic is because goal streak or not, ball retention is going to be very important in a game like this when possession is going to be up for grabs, and maybe you're not on the right side of the possession battle. I want the guys that can hold the ball. For me, if you create something with Openda and David up at the top, the two of them can actually mix it up, where David can drop, Openda can absolutely take off into the space he creates if he's dropping back to help and build up. And the guy's work rate's big, you're not actually losing a whole lot defensively because Openda's going to work his ass off, as does Yildiz as well. But those are changes I would look at making. For me, this lineup right here lacks a lot of bite and a lot of sting. And it feels very, very cautious and very safe in approach from Tudor. And the last thing I want is for these guys to come into our house and show them too much respect. So yeah. That's my gut reaction with that lineup.
The issue with the lineup for me is that first of all, it's a very small sample size. Like, I don't know what to make of this Inter right now, how they play and what to expect from them, because they're not playing the same way they did with Inzaghi. With Tudor, we have a bit more of a bigger sample because it's a lineup that could have played last year as well. There's no new players in that lineup. And last year was meh. It was fine. I mean, Tudor did his job, but I wanted to add something different that wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a surprise element in this game wouldn't hurt us, I don't think. Right? This camera's driving me nuts, by the way, everybody. My God. We're almost at predictions. Hang on a second. Let me get this going.
You got a new profile picture. Yeah. You see the frozen photo? Yeah, that's a good one.
I think there's also something to be said about Inter's current run of form right now. And like, we're going to be going into a match against a wounded animal, so to speak, right? And coming off that drastic loss to Udinese, like, this should be a time where Juve should say, okay, look, boys, we got him right where we want him. And this is probably the best time to be playing Inter. Let's just put the foot on the pedal and just go grab 2 goals right off the hop and just put the game away early.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's time to get to this thing. Now that we've seen the lineups, as far as like the tactics and everything like that, you guys are spot on. I'm fine with McKinney playing there because Dumfries is a guy you got to watch for. Bremer and Thuram will probably do battle the majority of this game. That second spot call, like Lloyd Kelly's going to have to, he's going to have to just do what he's been doing, which is just play straightforward games. He's going to have to keep it as clean and as simple as he can. Gatti on the other side of Bremer or Kalulu. Well, Tudor's going to opt for Kalulu on that flank. Kalulu's going to have to find a way to make an impact offensively. I think McKennie's going to be pushed back. And this is another reason why I would have liked Joao Mario out there, is because DeMarco, I think, is the flank for the taking. I think this guy has been steadily, not quickly, but steadily on a kind of downward trajectory. And I feel like that's where I want a guy that can like go at him and get in behind him quickly and Joao Mario's pace, etc. That's the whole point of playing a 3 center back system. Like, if you're not playing a 3 center back system to get a little bit of a boost, support your offense, and get some dynamic players, maybe one more in that lineup, well, now you've got no dynamic play in there. Your only dynamic player in this setup today against Inter is Kenan Yildiz. And Thuram can drive out of the midfield, but will he be able to when the midfield contest is going to be so aggressive that way?
Yeah, the midfield is going to be stacked, and it's going to be hard to find a way through there, but we have no one to exploit it on the wings. That's the issue. I'm not even sure I would have played Cambiaso if he was available because of his defensive errors and the way Dumfries plays, but
I would have moved him to the. I would have probably moved him to the right. I would have probably moved him to the right side to go against DeMarco, rather than Dumfries.
Possibly. This reads to me no wings play at all. The way it's set up right now.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see. We've got to set the tone before we get to predictions. Obviously, we know kind of they are 1-1, so they dropped that last one to Udinese. That was a beautiful sight to see. Hopefully they drop it again today against us, and we take care of business. Juve 2-0, 2 games, 2 wins. Let's make it 3-0 today. Kivu, he's the Inter fans' confidence is not there in the squad. It's not there in the coach. They are very much just don't really know what they're going to expect or what they can see from this team. They were not happy with Beppe Marotta in the Mercato. I think you should be happy that you guys even registered, first of all, because you guys suddenly got rid of a massive debt by doing nothing. So I think you guys should just be happy and shut your mouths. In terms of the official, this is who's going to be the official. Andrea Colombo. Sketchy when you see this guy, okay? When you see this ref, you'll know exactly who it is. Sketchy. So 47 appearances in Serie A, 5.3 yellows per game, 10 reds, 7 PKs given. Serie B is his second most experienced league, 5.5 yellows per game there, 13 reds, 13 PKs. Serie B, they play like prison league or something down there. Jesus, all the refs have crazy numbers when they official Serie B games. Colombo's hopefully doesn't play a part, but you'd like to see a guy with a higher experience number work the game. But to be honest, even the higher experience guys in Italy are sketchy, boys. They're sketchy. We're here, though, before we get into Storm the Barn. It's prediction time, everybody. Final score, 2 tiebreakers. Then we're going to get to our kick giveaway for our Legends member. And then we're going to get to Storm the Barn. So, without further ado, final score, 2 tiebreakers. Who wants to do the honors?
I'll go.
Omer.
Yeah, I'm calling 1-0 Juve. Yildiz is the goal scorer just because he's like that. That will be his first goal of the season. And definitely a red card in this match.
Oh.
Okay, I
Inter
like
red
it.
card.
All right. Inter red Yildiz 1-0. That's Omer's. Trimmy, you're up, man.
Okay, well, I'm going to say 2-0 Juve. I think they bag a couple of goals. I'm going to say one in each half. And I'm going to say the goal scorers will be Jonathan David with his second of the season. And Keenan Yildiz will get a goal as well.
David and Yildiz. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see how the chat's feeling out here. Mitch's got a 2-2 draw. Adam going 3-1 and saying Openda will score. All right. All right. 2-1. Dushan. Colt Miners.
Nice.
Scanga 4-2 Juve. A 6-goal Derby d'Italia. Madon. 3-1 Juve from Edgar. Lord of his 2-1 Juve. A McKenny brace. 2-1 Swarit. 2-1 Yildiz. Bremer. And a red to Merda. We got a 2-0 Juve here. Mark. We got a 1-1 draw. Cugino Eddie 1-0 with Dushan with the winner. 2-0 Juve. 2-2 draw from Tuna. A late Merda penalty. Or a Juventus 2-1 with a Vlahovic brace. Woo! 2-1 Juve. Yildiz, David. Minimum 5 yellows. Yeah, 5 yellows is a good call. Look at this. 4-4. 3-2 Juve. 2-0. 2-1. Dushan and Lautaro score first 45. Yildiz gets a late winner. All right, all right. Chico Conceição, we're not sure. He was 50-50 yesterday. Can he come in? Can he play against tired legs and maybe have a little magic like he did last time after that Kolo Muani dribble? Insane little dribble show, and then Chico slots home. We got to wait to see if Chico gets in there and if he can play a part. For me, 2-1. 2-1. And it is won in dramatic fashion by Juventus. Not just dramatic fashion, but controversial fashion. All right? We'll have a little bit of a controversial decision. VAR will maybe go in our favor. They will cry, but Juve will win. It's going to be a late PK. Late PK. Who takes that late PK? I think it's going to be David, to be honest.
Iceman.
I think they'll get David the PK.
Pitch.
Wouldn't that be something? Come in, step in, bury a PK. Yildiz? You think Yildiz takes it? Cope if he's on the pitch? What? Loca?
Locatelli.
I think Loca takes the responsibility again. He will, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want them to give it to the Canadian boy. But I do say we win it late. Dramatic fashion. PK. Boom. Boom. 2-1. And yes, I'm trying to manifest it. I'd love to win where they're also crying on top of the loss with more tears, okay? And we do have AJC members that are actually going to the game. Army members, that are going to the game and everything. They do tell me it's the one common thing when you go to these matchups. Okay, it's the one time of year that Turin's air quality goes down because it stinks like shit when Inter Merda rolls into town, all right? So despite that, you guys should enjoy yourselves and it should be awesome there, all right? Now, the giveaway. Members of the AJC Army. This was the first one, okay? And I got a doozy for your next one. Maybe we'll unveil your next one, okay? Del Piero on the back, 04. We had already decided. We had already run the draw. Your handle is Azzurri Juve. That is the winner of the members kit, the first one, okay? Azzurri Juve. You have won this one. Congratulations, all right? And good luck to the other Legends members. I'll show you the next one. Do you want to see the next one?
Yeah. Don't leave us hanging.
Where should we go? Where do you think I'm going? Nike,
Thinking going
Adidas.
relative, not old school, but 9 Scudetto run away kit.
That's where you think I'm going?
Yeah,
Trim, where you think
If,
I'm going?
I guess I have no idea.
if it's the Nike black Jeep kit, I'm gonna fly to your house and steal it from you right now.
Mhm.
Oh, tell me it is. I literally, I'll leave right now.
It isn't, but that's probably going to go sometime in the future. But this is the next one for our Legends members.
Ooh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
All right, the
Oof.
old school 99, the Kappa, and of course, your boy on the back. This is
Has
the
to
Can
be.
next
you
one
say,
available for our members.
out of your 200 something kits, do you know how many of them are Del Piero kits?
I had a
Over under
post
10.
actually with all my Del
10.
Piero,
10 is low.
just Del Piero kits, and it
True.
was 4 photos. And I want to say that there's at least 6 kits in each photo.
Oh,
I gotta have close to 30 Del Piero kits.
Yeah, that's more like what I was thinking, 30, 40.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yeah.
Azzurri Juve, congratulations. All right, we'll put a post out in case you could not make the live. But for the other members, good luck on the next one. All right, and that's going to be done monthly because we got to show love to the Army, who is second to none out there. We thank you for all your support, guys. Drop a like. We're getting to storm the barn here. Okay, let's go, Adam. Oh boy, I think I know what's coming here. Okay. What do you call an Italian TV that only has channels containing crazy shit? Loca Deli. Oh, come on. Come on.
That's one of the better ones.
That's
getting
not
better.
bad. I'm actually not
They're
even going to
getting
give you a
better.
card for that because it's Derby d'Italia Day, so we don't want to give our own cards, all right? But that one's not bad. Not bad, all right?
Yeah,
Not bad, Adam. Not bad. We're going to let it slide because it's Derby d'Italia
better.
Day.
You're improving. You're improving.
Whoa, look at this Apex. Does David score at least 10 goals in Serie A this season? Trim, I don't think he
Yes.
knows the bet that you've got going with Cugino Eddie, where you called 20 goals. What was interesting was Justin, our boy, was there with the Juventus official fan club in Baltimore. By the way, reach out to your local official fan clubs. I know Trim's going to be in Toronto there. It's going to be crazy today for the Derby. But we asked them, and it was interesting. Like, the majority think he's going to land somewhere around 17 goals and whatnot. I think one gentleman said no, he's going to get 23 in just league this season. But does he score 10? I have no issues with him scoring 10. Like, I think he'll score double digits, no problem. I think he's going to sit around 18. But Trimmy's got the bet with Cugino Eddie that he gets 20 just in league.
I think he gets 10 by Christmas. I think he's
10
got
by
10 by
Christmas.
Christmas.
Woo!
Yeah.
Omer,
Needs 9 more.
do you think Trim wins this bet, or do you think Cugino Eddie wins this bet? Will David reach 20 Serie A goals this season?
I think he'll stand on 19. I don't think he makes it to 20, and 19 is great.
19 is
get me
great
wrong.
for Serie A because he's probably going to add a healthy bunch
Yeah.
of assists in there, right?
The thing about him is that he has a lot of assists too every season.
Yeah.
So if he contributes total to like 30 goals, I don't know, 19 and 11, that's phenomenal. Double digits,
Yeah.
like double digits,
It would be something
great
that
for
we
him.
haven't gotten out of that position because if you
Mhm.
look at our leading goal scorer that's been there, it's been predominantly goals and not assists. But if you can get a guy that's in there at even 15 and 11 or something, like you're ahead of the battle. That's a 27 contribution season. That's big. That's big out of that position compared to just getting the goals and say 15 goals or something, right? It's a big difference. So, but 20 is a lot for Serie A,
It is.
especially for season. I think back to that first match when he had to see everybody in the box, and he's probably like, Jesus, yeah, that's a common occurrence here in Italy, buddy. Get used to it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we'll see.
he's going to have to figure it out. It did seem to have a bit of a tough time in the first few matches of like finding just spaces, and there's always someone, taped to his back. And I'm expecting more. I'm not going to judge him. It's a new league, but
Yeah.
it did seem like you need some time adjusting.
Gio wants a reminder on the bet. So Trimbley says he gets 20 goals in Serie A only this season. Jonathan David. Otherwise, he has to get Eddie a kit of his choosing, and vice versa. Yeah. If he does hit it, Eddie's got to get Trim a kit. So we love a good kid bet. Love a good kid.
It's always
bet.
Fun. Had to spice it up.
Guys, who do you got? Canelo or Crawford? I'm going Canelo.
Sorry, I don't follow.
Boxing? No.
Yeah, I'm not. No, I don't follow as much, but I'll go Canelo.
Let's say the match is 0-0, 80th minute. You have one last substitution to make. You can pick whichever Juve player of all time to win us the game. Who you picking of all time? Love it.
I know. I'm taking Zalaeta. And if you know, you know.
Yeah. Zalaeta. Trim, who you taking?
Ooh, this is a tough one. It's easy to think of like the main big guys who, have the star power, the recognition. But I'm trying to think, like, go off the board and think of a guy who was clutch just to come in and just get that last minute scrappy goal. Douglas Costa. Mandzukic comes to mind. I don't know why. I feel like put in Super Mario in there in the grid.
Pipita had a great moment in the Derby d'Italia. Del Piero had great moments in Derby d'Italia. I'm going to go with King Alex, man. Bring me Alex.
Yeah.
You could pull Alex in and just like he did in 06, bury them with one dead ball.
Closer to the end of his career closer to the end of his career where he started less matches, he was actually a very good super sub. Like almost every time he came in, he had an impact on the match.
Who was that, sorry?
Del Piero.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of good shouts though. Trez, you got CR7, Chad, Davids.
Any one of them is a good answer.
Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with any of those guys.
Yeah.
Platini.
Let's go here.
Next one.
Which Juve player got a red on his Champions League debut? That was CR7, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ronaldo against Valencia. Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Valencia. Yeah, we were wearing the black kits with the neon yellow, the highlighter
and they
yellow.
They won it with 2 penalties by Pjanic. They won it even though we had a red card from like the 30th minute.
Yeah, CR7. I don't know if anybody else has ever done that, but I know CR did it. What's your favorite starter food-wise? Okay. We're getting into appies. Now. What's your favorite starter?
Mine's calamari. That's just the easiest. I don't know why. Always
love it.
Calamari's good. What'd you say?
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets as a starter. Oh my god, calamari's great.
No, maybe some good spicy wings. I like to open a meal with something
that's
very
a good spicy.
Shout. Yeah.
A nice bruschetta, I like. I can get down with a nice bruschetta.
Carpaccio, very good for a starter.
Yeah. Calamari, nice bruschetta. Those are top drawer. How fit is Shagrova in Real? I start already to have doubts. Well, I mean, he's just trying to get back. We knew that getting him. Dude hasn't played since December, whatnot. So I don't know to what extent, but they've made a decision to not rush him. And you know what? I get it. I mean, season's going to be long. Nothing's decided today. The Scudetto's not being handed out on September 13th, right?
Yeah, I don't want to make assumptions that early. You gotta remember he's kind of like the Bremer case, and you gotta ease him in just like you did with Bremer, and you're going to do with Cabal. He's a big shiny signing, and I think he can be very good for this team. I think he can be very surprising. So I want him healthy.
Yeah. And I agree. I think there's so much season. Like, we're right at the beginning. This would be massive for Juventus as a team, as a club, as a young club going through this season to get this victory here. But it also doesn't decide everything. And Tudor's starting to... I think the thing I appreciate the most is that the understanding of the expectations and not shying away from it. That's what I at least fucking appreciate this season compared to last.
Yeah, it seems like he got it into the team.
When you start a year and you're talking about top 4, what the fuck kind of tone are you setting? And that pissed me off last year. It was pissing me off. I'm sick of it. It's bullshit. Should never happen. So at least, even if we can say that, and we all know that Tudor has to grow, like Tudor has to evolve, and he's going to be a big wild card for Juventus this season. But at least I appreciate that he understands the level and like what's needed and what the expectations are. And I hope that trickles down through to the players and that everybody gets on the same page. But you can definitely tell that they're vying for harmony in the locker room and all trying to unite and become one, moving towards the same goal. I appreciate that, because that hot-headed bullshit last year with Motta was just a gong show, and I never would have expected it. I would have never expected that. But that's how you ruin seasons, is the shit that was happening last season. So, you know what?
I don't think we understand how much of a calamity Motta was just yet. I think when we start hearing more, and I think our jaws will drop when we hear some of the things he said to them backstage, because it takes a lot to get all those guys to feel that way and just lose interest, lose faith in the coach, in the system. And credit to Tudor, it seems like he's got them like sort of back on track. I feel like some of the Juve values are kind of back with the team, and that they are excited to play and want to prove themselves. And there's a good chunk of guys who really want to be here and prefer playing at Juve than other places who offer them even more money. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing. It doesn't happen overnight. I hope it keeps improving, but I think it's going in a good direction right now.
If anybody, no matter who, would have come in after Motta, all you had to do was not be an asshole, and it would have been an improvement. Like, that's literally the point it got to. That's where it got to. So we'll see. But Tudor's, this is one of those games where his impact's going to have to kind of be felt, and we'll see. Maybe some substitutions, some tactical tweaks. I mean, he's been known to be very, very rigid, very one-dimensional, and we'll see. Should he maybe have done something a little more at the start? Like, it feels very safe to come out with that lineup, if that is in fact going to be his lineup. We'll know soon enough. We're not far from when it gets announced. But Trim, what do you think the whole attitude switch
with the club? Yeah, it's obviously a lot better off. I think Tudor's the right kind of coach. Like, I know he can come to blows, so to speak, with players at his time at like Marseille and some of the other clubs he's been to. But I think with Juve, he realizes, because he's Juventino, like what he's got here, and I think he's learned from his past mistakes. Like, not saying he's going to be perfect by any means. He's going to have some slip-ups he already has with us, and in terms of, like you said, being rigid with the lineup and player personnel. But I think he's the right kind of coach to have in a match like today and moving forward. I think he'll surprise us, but again, he'll have his downfalls here and there as well. But specifically for today, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do with the lineup.
And to elaborate here for Gio, say not being an asshole is a pretty low bar. No, that's just being honest, though. You can't bench Yildiz for 5 games and expect to succeed at Juve with the roster that you have. You can't sit Kefren Turam 4 games and expect it to bode well for your club. Motta was being an asshole. Flat out. So somebody that recognizes the importance of your best players to your roster when you're a team that's battling last year to just make sure that you're in top 4, yeah, that's being an asshole. Even just understanding that gets you ahead of the game compared to where we were last season. That doesn't mean that's all we look for. I'm just saying that in its own is an improvement because that's how bad it was last year. You can't be benching your most important players. Cambiasso went through it. Cambiasso went through a mess. Cambiaso, Yildiz, Thuram, and force-feeding Cope Miners in a fucking spot. But hey, we're about to do that same thing now, and I've seen that experiment many times. Good luck to whoever gets the call from Tudor, but you better reward that guy. You better reward your coach today. Because if it doesn't work out, and all these decisions that have rotational players or have options. You just signed Openda. Openda's one of your new signings. You know, you've got Joao Mario, another new signing that can maybe fight back and hurt Inter. But maybe Tudor's playing the long game. Maybe he knows he's got a little bit of Chico Conceição second half, and maybe he knows he has a little bit of Joao Mario. Maybe he thinks I could pull Jonathan David and completely change the game second half because now all of a sudden we can get on the ball more and give him a completely different look. Openda, physical, fast, second half. Maybe Tudor's playing the long game.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Juve were better in both their second halves, in both matches. All goals were scored in the second halves. Yeah, maybe that's his plan. Gotta keep in mind we have Dortmund on Tuesday. So maybe that comes into play a bit. But either way, like you said, the guys who were chosen gotta reward him for the choice. I mean, if they do that, I like it. Push the other guys, push each other to be better.
Yeah.
And Tudor's words, absolutely. I mean, that kind of shows what an asshole Mota was, because if Tudor has nothing to say to Kenan, that means his behavior behind the scenes is just as professional as you'd like it to be. And Kefren doesn't strike me as a problematic guy either. So if he decided to bench them both to teach them a lesson, then yeah, that says more about him than about them.
Yeah. Now, the last one was about Jagrova, his fitness. One of the questions we asked the club at Juventus Official Fan Club Baltimore, who's going to be the best signing at season's end? And I'm going to ask, obviously, Army, let's go chat. Everybody, lay in your picks. By season's end, who's going to be the best signing that we made this summer? Omer, what's your vote?
In terms of value, João Mario and Jonathan David could seriously increase the value and what we paid for them, because we barely paid for them anything. It's a lot harder for a 60 million player to prove his worth. But my guess, and I'm going way from left field here, I think Openda will actually be the best signing. Because I see a lot of similarities in his game. It's not a comparison, but I see a lot of similarities to the way Tevez played. Like, he's not too fast, but he's very hard to knock off his feet. He's a strong guy, got some shot on him, good finishing, quick bursts. Like, he's not a sprinter for long distances, but inside the area, he could be very deadly. I see a lot of similarities to the way Tevez used to play, and I like those type of players. So my guess is Openda will fit right in.
Yeah. And Trim, what's your pick for who's going to be the top signing by season's end?
Well, I got to stay consistent. So top signing, I'm going to say David, but Openda's a really good shout by Omar. And I actually wasn't sure if we'd include him, only because I think he starts off as a loan. I don't know if we've outright purchased him, or it becomes obligation after a certain criteria, right? So if that's the case, I do think he can easily get in there as well. Jagrova, for me, I think he'll need to show that he's healthy and prove that he can stay fit. Could be another option in there, but just as a whole, I think David, because he was free, and I'm really high on him. I think he's gonna prove that he was the best signing this season.
Yeah, I'm at a toss-up between Jagrova and David, because if Jagrova can stay fit, I think he does it. But that's a big if, especially when J Medical gets involved. I'm gonna go with David. I feel he's still overlooked. I think he's still underrated to the fan base. I think I see a lot of weird complaints from a majority of the fan base in terms of 2 games of him playing with us, which I don't get, but I'm gonna stick with David. I'm gonna stick with David. Now, only the hard questions here, Forza Juve. You get to only drink 1 beer for the rest of your lives. Which beer are you choosing?
Ooh.
My favorite is, I'd probably say Marezzo. Belgian beer, my favorite.
All right. Trimmy.
Oh, there's a long list that I could go through. So if I'm just shooting from the hip, I'm going to say, let's go with Moretti. I like a nice Moretti. It's a good one.
See, I love a good craft beer, but I could never pick it as like all the time and just the last one, like that's it.
Yeah, same.
I like Heineken, Stella, and Peroni, but I would probably pick Peroni. I'd probably go with Peroni. That's it. But yeah,
those 3 are all up there for me too, easily.
The funny thing is, I used to hate Heineken, but I like Heineken. Like it took a turn for me. I feel like they've had to have changed something. It used to be like brutal. I remember growing up, I was like, this beer is terrible. But then I don't know, some changed. My taste bud, your taste buds change too after so often. And then I ended up having them, and I was like, oh, you know what? I don't know if they changed something or it was just me and my taste buds, but it's good now. Heineken, Stella, and Peroni. But Peroni takes a cake for sure. I'm so hyped about Cabal being back. That guy is probably our second best defender behind Bremer and has one hell of a left foot. He could be a rock next to Bremer and lock things down this year. So Cabal had mixed reviews before he got that injury that took him out and ended his season last year. I liked him. I liked him a lot from what I was seeing from him. The aggression, the speed, his willingness to get forward and everything. I think there was obviously some polishing that needed to be done, but I think you could tell there's a solid player there. A solid player there. I think he's going to provide more than competition for Kelly, and I would not be surprised if he ends up taking the left center back role pretty soon after getting minutes under his belt and getting in there. I actually can see him taking it quite easily, if I'm being honest. Do you guys think that's going to end up happening? Do you have the same feelings? I think he's going to take it, and I don't think it's going to take long because he's better on the ball, way better on the ball than Kelly.
Well, the sample size is a bit too small for me. We barely seen him next season. He had some good stats at Verona, mainly in ball winning in the opposition half and aerial duels, which can be very important. I think he's very important to the Juve dressing room in general, like in terms of rotation. If he can also rid us of like Kostic and be the second guy after, if you need a more defensive guy instead of Cambiasso, but someone who can still offer something in attack. I think he has that balance and not solely defensive, but not solely offensive. Can't wait to have him back. I think he could be a very good signing and a very good addition to this Juve, and I hope he takes Kelly's spot eventually.
Yeah, I just think even from what we saw in the small sample size, he gives me a lot more confidence out of the two of them. Even if we're talking small, it's not like we have we have more of a sample size from Kelly, but it's not like we have a massive one either, right? I just think the shortcomings to pros, like if you're going pros and cons for both of them, I think Cabal's going to overtake him, and I don't think it's going to take long. Trim.
Yeah, I think from what we saw, like I can only remember 1 or 2 shaky performances out of him, and it was very marginal. Like I think for the most part, he was really solid, and I like he's got speed back there too, which is something that can't be understated as well, especially when you're playing a three-man backline. Like, you need guys on the outside that are are quick and can move the ball. So we've seen his ball playing ability is great, and I think that the speed helps as well, and he can defend. So I mean, what more do you really want from the guy, right? So like I said, I think from what I remember, I only saw like one, maybe two shaky performances. Other than that, he was pretty consistent. So him beside Bremer, beside either Gatti or Kalulu on that right side, like that's a pretty decent trio. I think it goes up against any of the top Serie A clubs in this season.
And
So
we got to remember,
So
like,
who is?
Juve made a decision to like not pay much attention to the backline at all in the
yeah,
window, and Cabal's a part of that. Like,
yep.
I don't think it's coincidence that it's way ahead of schedule that he's hidden a squad list, and that towards the end of the window, just defensive priorities seem to drop to like nothing. Like, I'm quite confident that they believe that they knew he was going to come back sooner rather than later, and that they were more than confident in that option. And we also heard that it's funny how they report it, but they say the dream backline, Cabal, Bremer, Gatti. I wouldn't call it the dream, but I would believe that that's what they see as the ideal back three for them going into this season, to which Kelly just becomes a rotational piece in either, a Coppa Italia game, whatever, or just give rest there. But I would believe that they would see that as a top three pairing for Juve and a back three.
So
Yeah,
who is
agree.
our second best defender after Bremer,
Me.
in your opinion? Mm-hmm.
Second
Only.
best defender after Bremer. It's funny to me because the only guy I could see playing behind Bremer is Rugani in that actual spot in the heart. But I actually think, like, if I had to rank him as second best to Bremer defending wise, like, I struggle, man. But I probably put Gatti, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Kalulu.
hmm,
Sure, I think Gatti and Kalulu are the same guy, if I'm being honest. Like,
yeah.
they both have brain
Mm.
farts out of nowhere, and they can both be so bad positionally at times. Like, it's one of my concerns with having them play a wing together, the way we're doing with a right wing back and a right center back. And
Well, the difference is just Gatti aerially is a lot better, but I think Kalulu is a better defender on the ground against dribblers and whatever.
yeah, it's, yeah, I say take your pick. It's pretty close there. Trim, what's your vote
Hmm.
for second best after Bremer?
Well, I would have liked to see a little bit more of Cabal to be able to pick him, but I think from what we've seen with the guys that have remained healthy and have played more consistently, yeah, I would go. I struggle, but I would go with Gatti, and it's not by much because like you said, I think you're splitting hairs between him and Kalulu. Although when Kalulu's at his best, he really shines through, and it kind of gives me flashbacks to his time at Milan and when he
Yeah,
played there because he was really strong there with Tamori in the back line. But I think as of right now, I'd give the slight edge to Gatti. But again, it's not by much.
the thing for me is, like, the best we've seen out of Kalulu is right center back. Back three,
Yeah,
right center back. The back four center back thing I didn't like at all.
yeah.
And fullback, even this wing back thing, he could be pretty frustrating and limited when he gets high up there. But it's there's a gap there from Bremer. Let's just say that there's a healthy gap. I think there. Fully fit. What's our best 11? Any formation. Trim, go.
Hmm.
You're first up. Fully fit. Juve 25-26. Any formation. Fire away.
Digre in net. Back four. Cambiaso left. Bremer, Gatti, and I'll go with Joao Mario on the right side. I'm gonna play a 4-2-3-1. So we got Loka and Thuram in the midfield. The three up top behind the striker will go. I want to see Yildiz in the middle as a 10. Chico and Jagrova on the right and the left side, and then David up top.
All right. Pretty damn good one. Omer, what's yours?
Let's go with 3 at the back, just to be a little different. And so Tigre, Bremer, Kalulu, want to say Cabal. And I agree with Cambiaso and João Mario. 2 in the center is Thuram and Locatelli, and 3 up top. Right now it's David, Ildiz, and Conceição for me, but I have yet to see Openda play for Juve, Jagrova. That's why I'm kind of counting them out. Even David is a tough one because it's only 2 matches. I just think he's a better striker than Vlahovic is.
Yeah. I'm going to keep it back 3. I'm going to go Cabal, Bremer. It's funny I said second best defender next to Bremer is Gatti, but I actually would go Kalulu right center back. Those 3. For Cabal, anybody that says, oh, we've got a small sample size, etc., I would say this. Think about all those times Lloyd Kelly gets that high up the pitch for us and look at the outcome. I've already seen in such a small sample size way better offensive outcome from Cabal in those situations and better on the ball. I remember him planting a ball on McKennie that he laid off for Vlahovic on a beautiful goal. And he did that from like just inside half, whatever. So the delivery, the crossing would be lights out. That's my 3. Across the middle, Joao Mario. I got Locatelli, Thuram. That ain't changing. Cambiaso on the other side. And then I'd go, if you got Yildiz, David, and Jagrova, lights out. That's absolutely lights out.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for the Jagrova David thing to click.
Oh man,
I think that's what they're banking on.
They did have a great understanding.
You know what's interesting is depending how you set yourself up, like say Cambiaso doesn't play a game or something and you want to base out from the left wing back role, Jagrova can actually take up the outside role on the right and you could still have an attacking player in one of those advanced slots. It just kind of forms a 4 when you're on the ball and he could still push up from that outside role and gives yourself crazy options in the attack when you factor in you still have Conceição, Openda, David, you've got Vlahovic, you've got Yildiz. Like it's crazy, and he has played as an outside player. Jagrova.
I would also feel a lot better moving to Foreman at the back during matches, or just starting with Cabal as the left back.
Yeah. That's something he could do too, right? So it'll be interesting to see. I see Mitch says, where's my Storm the Barn? We got 2. We got both yours. Jagrova, how fit is Jagrova? And which Juve player got a red on his Champions League debut? Those are the only 2 I see. Don't shoot the messenger. Guys, it's match day. We're getting ready. I'm going to sign off because we're going to reconvene in like an hour here for the watch along. Of course, there's a watch along. Trim's going to be with the Juventus official fan club Toronto at the clubhouse there. That place is going to be rocking, all right? Yeah. Join your local JOFC if you haven't. If you need to find out where the closest one to you is, reach out, okay? North America just keeps growing with more and more clubs, all right? So show some love. Whatever you do, if you're superstitious, do it today, okay? What kit am I going to roll with? It's got to be something that has a fantastic Derby d'Italia moment associated to it. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to
choose the 5th of May easily.
Not going to announce it. I'm not going to announce it. There's going to be something with a fantastic Derby d'Italia moment to it that I rock for the kits. Okay? But you guys, today, we got to say happy Saturday to Inter Merda and take care of business. If you're going to be in the stadium, bring a gas mask because it always stinks like shit when Inter Merda rolls into town. Let's hope that the lads can take care of business. Do whatever you got to do for superstitions, all right, if you're superstitious. I myself, I'm not. Let's just hope they take care of business. We'll wait for the starting lineup. I expect 2 changes. I think Albanese is going to be wrong by 2 players. 2. I'm going to make that call right now. So let's see. But I have good feelings. No matter who we put out there. Last 14 home Derby d'Italias. We've only dropped 1. We've only dropped 1 out of the last 14 at home. So today, I got good feeling. Good feeling, good vibes. It's a big one. We'll see you all very, very soon in about an hour. Omer, Trim, always an absolute pleasure. Everybody, fino alla fine. Forza Juventus. Big one today. We'll see you in just over an hour. Ciao tutti. Take care.